What's going on, guys? It's Cody One Kenobi. I'm going to be doing a review today. I know, a little bit different, a product review. So I am do you guys know, I am a gamer on the side. So I'm going to be reviewing some things I've learned as a gamer and things I use every day. So people who do game can take this knowledge I have and maybe, use it to help improve their life. So today we are going to be talking about the Gamesir G7 SE. Again, it is the Gamesir G7 SE. I don't do PC, I don't do PS5, I am an Xbox player. And I have the Series X, and I'll be going over that in because I've had that for almost a year. I'm going to do a review of that. But let's get to the main star of the video, the Gamesir G7 SE. First, I'll quickly go over all the little functions and stuff, and then we'll get into the part everybody wants to know, the performance. So, it's really cool. The biggest reason, and I watched lots of reviews on this before I bought it, it was still pretty new. Here's the cool thing. Super cheap. Super cheap. Now, all things it has, so here's what it's got. You got your standard, I like the white. The color doesn't really bother me. It's more the performance I care about. But yeah, so I'll let you look at it, and I'll start talking about it. By the way, I'll just throw it in there. These two symbols on the D-pad literally mean nothing. And also this button literally means nothing as well, so don't even worry yourself with it. The symbols on the D-pad and this button mean nothing. Here's the bottom. This is a button, by the way. We'll talk about it. This is the back. And this is the top. I know this side's a little bit dirty right now. I don't really care. But yeah, I need to clean it, but I don't really care how it looks again. And that is a USB-C. Okay, talking about it. Now, this gaming controller. What I was using before is the Xbox Elite Series 2. Which I have right here. And at the very end of the video, I'll be talking about why I switched. And this is a very, very, very big reason why I switched. Don't get me wrong, this feels of very high quality, and it's heavier, and it feels nicer in my hands. But the performance of this, $40. And 200. It's kind of sad. I'll talk about it later. But let's get to the main specs of this. The number one thing that attracted me to this. Now, if you're an Xbox player, you'll understand. But the number one problem I have had with every Xbox controller is the joysticks and getting stick drift. So, my number one game I play is Call of Duty. That is the number one game I play. And stick drift always happens. There was a cycle when I had a Series S where I would play with a controller for about a month. So what I would do, I would go to GameStop. I got a new controller. And I'd play with it for a month. It would get stick drift, a month to a month and a half. It would get stick drift. I'd return it. I'd get a used one which didn't have stick drift, and then the used ones would develop stick drift in a month. In a month, they developed stick drift, and I just kept returning them because what I would do is I'd buy a $10 warranty. So I'd be going back. I'd use it, get stick drift, go back in, pay $10. Use it, get stick drift, pay $10. Use it, get stick drift, pay $10. And eventually, I got a wired one. And I got a wired one. I can't remember what it was called. It was called the Fusion. It was some sort of wired controller called the Fusion. And it was good for a little bit, but the input delay was really, really, really bad. So I quit using it. Now, getting to this. That is my controller past. So knowing my controller past, stick drift was a stick drift and input delay. Are very, very big for me. Something I'll talk about real quick with this. This is all leading up to why I picked this. The Elite Series 2 was great for a long time. something I didn't realize while playing, and I think I was taken away because the Series X is 120 frames per second with Call of Duty, something that I didn't notice, that I started to notice, was that this has a lot of input delay, and I didn't notice it until I played my friend's Call of Duty on PS5, and I was like, oh my lord, the input delay is really bad. I went and I looked it up, and Xbox, you gotta get your stuff together. The Elite Series 2 has the worst input delay of... It's worse than the standard Xbox controller. It's worse. And I don't know why. And nobody talks about it. And I've read all these forums. It is 100% worse. And I don't know why people don't talk about it. So if you were just a casual... Now, if you're just playing stuff like Madden and FIFA and 2K or Forza Horizon or these like third-person shoot 'em games... It's fine. No, you get this. Go ahead and get this. It's very nice. It's got a battery pack in it. It charges. I like the little thing in the back. I'll talk about this later, but I like the little paddles and the paddle in the back. It's very nice. It feels good. It feels high quality. It charges. But if this is not the controller for if you are a Call of Duty player. Avid Call of Duty player, this is not the controller. And sadly, this has actually recently started getting stick drift in this one right here. Very sad. Now, getting back to the main one. This is all leading up to why I bought this. The Gamesir G7 SE. I bought it because the biggest attraction, it has Hall effect joysticks. They're very smooth. It's very different. It is very different. They're very smooth. It's very different. These Hall effect joysticks, this technology pretty much that a lot of really expensive controllers use, especially in most PC controllers, not Xbox, that it will never develop stick drift. No Xbox controller, no controller partnered with Xbox had ever released anything that had Hall effect joysticks, and that's why I got it. And as well, it was $40. I went, $40? I couldn't believe it. It almost seemed like I was cheating or something when I realized it was $40. Now, the joysticks are great. The buttons, it gets a little bit getting used to, but it makes sense. The D-pad, it works fine. It feels a little bit weird. It's not your standard Xbox controller. I mean, the grips are... It's nice having grips. It's better than like a slick regular Xbox controller, but it's nice having them. Now something the triggers very smooth. The top buttons, the panels, they're really easy to push. Triggers don't give many problems. These are great. You can lock them if you don't want to use them. I just use the right one as jumping for Call of Duty. And usually, it's funny, I didn't use the paddles on this very much, but this got me using the buttons. It's much more comfortable than a paddle. I use the paddle now, but I got comfortable using the paddle because of this controller. Don't want to make this review too long, but that's why I got this controller. Now, I never, and the cool thing is you can map everything. There's an app specifically on the Xbox where you can map everything. Now, going to something else. The input delay is great. So what I learned is on Series X, what they kind of did with Series X is if you have a wire controller, the input delay is going to be better than a regular Xbox controller. And if this is worse than a regular Xbox controller, this is 10 times better than this one. 40, 200. Again, 40 and 200. Crazy. And yeah, so I've been using this for about 4 or 5 months now, and I am in love with the Gamesir G7 SE. This has become, so like, if I'm playing like Madden, FIFA, or like Forza Horizon, or like Lego Star Wars, I use this. I just pick it up. It's not It's not wired. That's another big thing about this one. This is a wired controller, and I usually don't use wired controllers. And I used to see them as a pain, but with the performance that this puts out, it's worth the wired. I ignore that it's wired. The performance the performance of this controller has been amazing. The input delay, there's almost been none. The Hall effect joysticks it changed me. It's honestly made me a better player in Call of Duty. My friend who's just cracked at Call of Duty. He's even noticed that like my skill has gotten much better using this controller. And actually this controller encouraged me to use the back panels and buttons because I used to not like it. This controller encouraged me to do it, and I got it. And I love the buttons. It's very smooth. I even use the paddle on this sometimes, so if I'm playing casual Call of Duty, but just it feels so good. Now, if I jump into a multiplayer match trying to rank a gun up, I might use this because I'm not trying to play competitive. But if I'm playing competitive like Warzone or something like that, I am 100% using the Gamesir G7 SE. How much I would give this controller for the Xbox outside of PC, solely Xbox, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I can get over the wired. That's the thing that kills some people for this one is that it's wired. I can look past that because of the performance and how much better of a player at Call of Duty it has made me. Very, 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 very much worth it. And again, I have a Series X. This is worth it. One thing I meant to mention, it's really cool. There's a mute button on this. I did recently get the SteelSeries Arctic S9 like a couple days ago. I'm not going to do a review on that until I've had time to feel it out. But before I got that, I was using this as a mute button. If you used to have a regular headset, if you're getting pissed, let's say you got killed and you don't want your friends to hear you, just press this. It'll light up red, and they won't hear you. But yeah, this 10 out of 10 buy. Highly recommend. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I have absolutely loved everything about this controller. It came with like a Game Pass 1 month, whatever. I don't care too much about that. And also the software, and the software on the Xbox. For this, there's an app on the Xbox. You can adjust how like the triggers and how much the pull you want. You can adjust the dead zone on the Hall effect joysticks just like you can for this one. It's just not specific to Xbox. You can map different buttons, different places. You can turn vibration on and off. It's great. And they recently did an update, and I almost think that the input delay is almost 0. I haven't tested it. I don't have like a high-end PC to test it, but it seems like almost 0 to me. But yeah, I hope you guys are able to find this effective. Again, I use this day in and day out, and I have loved it. Xbox, you gotta step your game up. This, for how much this is, it's pathetic. For what this controller can do versus this one and the price difference. Yeah, this one, it's heavier, much heavier. This is very light, by the way, very light. It feels heavier and much more high quality, but you can't lie about performance. You can't. And I'll take performance over the quality every day. Reliability and performance over feeling high quality every day. Every day. Now, hopefully they can make this in a hopefully they can make this in a wireless like this, and that would wireless and charging, no battery pack, but a charging. Beautiful. Someday, hopefully, someday. But they need to step up their game with this controller because they just got beat out by competition. For $40. $40 they got beat out. And one of the reasons it's so cheap is because of the wire, but I'll take it. But, yeah, hope you guys found this interesting. Leave a comment of what you think, and there will be more videos in the future soon. Bye.